All right, so now some introduction for Midiyanto, or should I say Ki Midiyanto, as the description, as the bio here says. So Ki Midiyanto is a renowned Javanese musician in Dalang, born in Wonogiri, a rural district in the southern part of central Java. Midiyanto comes from a family of many generations of gamelan musicians and puppeteers. He attended the SMKI High School, which is a world-renowned high school, and the STSE as it was known, which is now called ISI, which is the Arts University in Surakarta as well. After that, he went abroad to teach and perform. Over the last 30 years, Midiyanto has taught and performed extensively in Indonesia, the United States, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and currently he is teaching at University of California, Berkeley, performing wayang and gamelan extensively around the United States. So thank you, and I would like to hand it over to Pak Midiyanto now.
Hi, good evening, everyone, and good evening to Mas Mary, who organized this lecture series for 27th right now. Despite this kind of situation that we all have to hang in there, but in a way, yes, we are very lucky. We being approved to have our healthiness stable because we are here, and keep it that way. Okay, so and thank you very much for coming. Mostly of you who are here, I just saw on the screen, you're all the Kender experts. Dr. Brenner, Dr. Sumarsam, Pak Harjito, Mas Phil, and others. Richard Wallace, Dr. Wallace, you are maybe a better Kender player than me, but I'm the one who chosen to be a speaker this tonight. I don't know why Masmet chose me to talk about this good Kender study, not gender study. Just to clarify, it's not gender study, but I'm going to talk about the Kender study. Let me talk about my background before I know how to play Kender. There's also Dr. Gold, is not the Kender player, just it up. Thank you, Lisa Gold. Okay, so my bigger background was, when I was age 10, I was just fooling around with a children group under 13 years old, and we practice. No guide, no teacher teaching us, so we just learn the song by ourselves. Simple song like Manyar Sewu, Sing on a Bah, and Rice. It's because in that time in my village we only have Selendro Kender and it's Selendro Gamelan and it's iron. And this group of children, about from 10 to 15 children, we played usually at night from 7 to 9, and we don't make a fixed evening. What evening? So whenever we get together in the street, fooling around, and then let's go to Mr. So and so's and to play their gamelan, and we just play those 3 pieces and plus sampak serpak thing. So we play that again and again until 9 o'clock. No teacher. My favorites to play in the gamelan in that time is bonang and kendang. that is that's the time in that time. Then when I graduated from middle school, I went to the Indonesian Conservatory of the Art, learning gamelan. That's starting 1978. So that was my first year learning formally gamelan at the conservatory. First song that I was introduced to play gender, the name of the song is Supo Kastowo. It's very simple, Supo Kastowo, and there are basically only 3 different kind patterns of gender to play. And I'm so excited, and I just played that song for 1 year, almost every day, to make sure, because playing gender, it's not just know how to play the song, but there are lots of technique to be learned, damping and feeling and so on. So basically, I just first year in the conservatory, I learned in that song only, and then do it again and again. I brought my own gender iron and then to practice in my cost in my it's cost in my dormitory. Then from there, I learned a lot of because that's 1 year. The material is only so simple. Ketawang Supo Kastowo is very simple, but there are many of my friends that already knows how to play gender before they are entered to this conservatory. So I listen and quote what they played in gender. It's amazing. So mostly I learn from friend, not from school. Then while I was in the conservatory, I learned or listened a lot to gamelan cassettes that's played by Indonesian radio station based in Solo, or called RRI. So I listened these cassettes a lot. So my favorite cassette that I listened to was there's called a cassette that have Majemuk, Lobaningrat. This is a huge song. And who was that gender player at that time? And the cassette was Pak Sabdo. Yeah, it was Pak Sabdo. Then I imitate my gender playing exactly from the cassette of this RRI gamelan group. And then I always come to the school early, like half an hour. So and then goes to the gender rooms, and I picked up one of the gender and I play gender in the song from the cassette. And my teacher came to me. Maybe some of you knows my teacher was Pak Walidi, one of the known teacher at the conservatory. His expert is in Bonang and Kendang. Then Pak Walidi came to me. Oh wow, your gender prayer is just exactly like Pak Sabdo. So, and I just told him I listen a lot from the radio station, from this kind of patterns. I didn't know that even that this was Pak Sabdo who's playing whatever. So I just imitating. Then I learned a lot during I'm in high school, the conservatory. That took 4 years and a half for me in the high school, and learn from the cassette, because from the school you don't learn a lot of material. It's only about 3 or 4 songs. Then 1982, I graduated from the conservatory. I went to ASCII in Sasonomulyo, nearby the Kraton Palace. And now it's called EC, but it's no longer there. When I was at ASCII in Sasonomulyo, every morning, almost every morning, the dance students have a kuliah or learning together to the dance. And I remember one of the component was Ladrang Kondomanyuro. Yeah, I'm not interested to that the dance class or other else. I just what struck to me was the Gender style. Who's playing this Gender in the song? It's Kondomanyuro, and I found out the cassette was recorded by Aski Surakarta, led by the director of that academic, Pak Humardani, and the Gender players. Now, Dr. Suratno. Some of you may know Dr. Suratno is one of the best Gender player in Indonesia. I think he got a trophy, a winning prize 2 years ago as the best Gender player. He was in San Diego, and he got his master from DeKalb, Illinois, for study with Dr. Han. Maybe you know. And yes, I love his Gender player because it's not too complicated, but it's touching. It's touched my heart. We call that Gender playing is teledok. It's just the walk of a slow swan, bebek swan, or angsa, or goose. So the way they walk, just very slow, but it's touching. That is Mr. Suratno's Gender style of playing. Then I learned from that a lot, and I even don't know who is Mr. Suratno in that time, because I was just the first semester in that the ASCII, SDSE. Then 1983, in ASCII, SDSE, doing mission to go to Paris and London. So there'll be two groups going to Paris and London, 1983. In one school, two groups going together, and I was chosen to play Gender for one group, and the other group was Pak Suratno was playing the Gender, joining the other group. And then for the concert, in that time, the packet, the suites of the song, one of them was the Lala Kali Berber. Lala Kali Berber says it's small gending, but very complicated treatments. Every part have a special. Kendang pattern special. Gender patterns absolutely very special. And it's in Slendro Songo. So I was chosen, and I do play Gender. It's the balungan. The melody is all pure Slendro Songo. So all of the patterns, all of the cengkok, I was using the Songo patterns. And then who's the coach of that group was Pak Marto Pangarawit, the coach of the group, coaching to work on this song and others. And I just played this song purely in mode of Patot Songo. And then Pak Marto Pangarawit came to me. Are you playing Gender for this song, this Lala Kali Berber, or are you just fooling around? Shame on me, because I didn't know. That's why, we choose this song, he said. It's because all of the parts, they have a special treatment, special garab. You cannot just interpret like this. You have to learn before you play the song. Then, wow, shame on me. I was very, very ashamed. And then I asked around, who should I ask? Somebody is referring to Mas Suratno. So that time, yes, I learned from Pak Suratno, and finally, Pak Suratno is officially my Gender teacher. So I using a lot of the way they holding, he's holding and strike the bars, using the mallets, how to hold them out. That I imitated from Mr. Suratno right now, in that time. So, and I remember when first time also in that year, ASCII also volunteering doing a live broadcasting. So there's a Mas Kamso, actually it was led by Mas Kamso, if you may know. So Kamso is one of the best of their player right now and easy. So he recruiting the group of students, and once a month we perform at the SMKI, this is the high school radio station live. And the song was, that time one of them was, the song was what's in Pelog Barang. That's a sweet back and forth. What is that? Sambul, yeah, Sambul Gending. And then I was playing using Mas Ratno, Pak Ratno style, the way I'm holding, the way the mode, and when is the beat coming, and delaying, thing like that. And then who came to me, I know most of you maybe recognize, Mas Darsono Edan. Mas Darsono Edan, that's married to Yumiko from Japan right now. But he told me like this: I don't like the way you holding and strike the bar like that. Why don't you just do it simple, naturally, not too stiff, not too kaku, not too stiff? That's what he's thinking. The reason that he's brave enough to tell to me that me and him is like we like family. We like family. Master Sono respect to my father's family, so that's why he's telling me that. Oh well, but I like this. It's a different style. But yes, see, don't think that what you do is good. If somebody come to you, no, that's not good. But this opinion. So I accept it, and I said, yes, sir. I will change. I do the best I can. But I say I can. But no, I won't change. This is what I like to do. Okay. Then so yes, my style mostly like Pak Ratno. And then until late 2004, starting 2004, I listened a lot of cassette wayang by Pak Narto Sabdo, Ki Narto Sabdo. I love listening to Narto Sabdo, one because his rhetorica, his linguistic is just perfectly correct, non-stop from beginning to the end for 9 hours. Grammar or anything is super balanced. That's first thing. Secondly, the group, this is Condong Raos, you may know. I love Condong Raos. They're so tight. And I love it. And because I listen to the wayang a lot, there are lots of odo-odo, grimingan, when it's a silence, it's called sirap jantur, when there's a dalang doing narration. The gender is so clear. And I love this gender pattern. This using this very unique cengkok I never heard before. And turned out that the gender player in that cassette was Pak Sago. Pak Sago is Mas Darsono's father. Well, how amazing. I learned from the cassette. And in the end, yes, I met Pak Sago. So right now, lots of my cengkok, we call it, if you don't know, I call it pitek noodle. Pitek noodle is chicken pick up the meal. So the sound like, that's called chicken pick up their meal. It's ayam pitek notol. It's from Pak Sago. So far, I know that's the beginning from Pak Sago, and there are many young Kender player using that. So I love that. So mostly if you are playing Kender, you will hear that pattern from Pak Sago. See, that's the way you learn. It's not only from the private teacher, but you should listen from the cassette. That is the way the people learn gamelan the best. You have to listen from the cassette. When you learn from the teacher, this is the secret, if we all admit it. When you learn from the teacher won't give you the best. They won't. because first it may be too hard. Secondly, if you learn from the written, it's hard to write it down. And also the last, how can you learn the teacher and then he will give you the best what he got, because in that time he is not expressing the real rasa, back to the rasa, the real feeling what is how to play kender and how to play in that song. It's just teaching. It's a material for private student, not even thinking I'm playing kender or gambar sawit because there's nothing is going on. I'm doing this for you. This is what you got today. That's all. So sorry, I opened the secret for all of the teachers. That's in the way, and this is the way it is. All right, so that's so far my background. And kender is a fun instrument in the gamelan, because you can play kender without any other support, without any other instrument that you can enjoy. And kender can be also to replacing kendang as a leader of tempo. It can be without kendang. You can do gadon without kendang, but just by itself. Soon you're going to hear a sample how I play kender without kendang with UC Berkeley gadon gamelan group, about 2 minutes. Then later I'm going to have live kender in the front of me right now with, I'm very lucky because I'm married to very beautiful girl and also great singer. Some of you may know Mbak Heni Sawitri, who graduated on his Karawitan Gamelan study from Indonesian Art Institute, Solo. So, Mas Mary, are you ready for the gadon that I just sent it to you? Just stop after the gadon. Do not continue to my talk. Okay, so please tune to it. That's how kender can lead without kendang, and it's very simple. Thank you very much.
Okay, I just put the link to that YouTube video in the chat box. It's a pretty short video, just two minutes. So you watch it from the beginning, and then when the song ends, that's it. So we'll go and we'll watch that, and then we'll come back to the Zoom.
So yeah, it'd be nice if you were using the headset. So see, that was the sample of you play a kender as a leader. Worst come to worst, but there are lots of in Java when you get together, even there's no kendang, no drummer, kender can be the leader. Okay, now kenders So before talk, I'm going to end this talk with live performance. Me and Mbak Henny to do like a 5-minute song. It's called Ular Kambang. So just stand by, stay tuned. Now the next one, Kender. One of the instruments that in the gamelan, it's made up of bronze. So it's look like this. See? There you go. See? This is a Kender. The Kender. So it's made of bronze. So when you how come the Kender sounds so good? There's two things. There are two things. One, the bronze should be very good. The bronze should be very good bronze. That means you are not ordering the instrument that's the maker too much copper on it. When it's too much copper, less thin, the Kender won't sound as ringing as like this. So because it's nothing to do what Kender is now with my topic, but another secret. When you buy in gamelan, don't look at it how thick and how thin. Even it's thin in the mixture between thin and copper is good. That's a great one. So buying gamelan, bronze gamelan is like buying gold. There's 24 karat, there's 18, there's 12. It's like that. But if you buy a bronze gamelan, you cannot tell because the color is the same. What can you tell is the sound. The sound when you hit it, ring longer, much longer. Yeah. So that's for the bronze. Now, and then see some of this part, this key, doesn't sound so well because the resonator, there's resonators under the key, tubes, can be bamboo or can be now what do you call it, metals. This tube should be tuned into the key, the same tune. No, should be like this, very soft, because the tube is too low. This is the sound of the pitch, the real pitch of Kender. Now, when I mute, that's the sound of the tubes. The tubes and the keys is not the same, then producing very short and unclear sound. Okay, see? Also this one, almost half step. This one is very close. See, louder, right? So that is the secret of the Kender. Now, then Kender is one of the most important instrument in the orchestra. It's because how to produce a great feeling, the character or the soul or the aura of the Kending, that's depending on the Kender players, not the Kender itself, but also the Kender player. Because it's no matter how good you are as a Kender player, if the Kender is out of tune or it's not a good bronze, it's not very good. So yeah, so it's between the players and the Kender should be synchronized. So that's very important, to bring feeling, to bring the feeling of the characters of the music. That Kender is one of the instruments that contribute a lot of it. Then Yes, it's fun instrument to play. I said earlier, because you can play, you can enjoy by yourself. You can do oto by yourself. You know, you can do patatan pattern by yourself, or just fooling around. You can play any patterns. That's not playing music, not playing the kending, not playing the song. Just play a pattern, but you know, again and again. But there's also part of the practice. I practice when at school. I practice Kender every day, at least 1 hour for 5 years. Then after that, it's easy to get it. But here, when in America, no, I don't touch my Kender for once a month, something like that. It's just well, no, it's not really. So that's how. But also in the orchestra, Kender is some an instrument that maybe not contribute nothing. It can be nothing. It's depend, because and in the orchestra, when you play Kender in the song and you make mistakes, it's not going to bother to the rest of the instrument. That's, you know, if it's in here. But Kender can be also crucial if there are one person or two in the orchestra and the Kender player make mistake. Even one person or two person knows, oh, you are bluffing, you are ngawur. In other words, that's very insulting feeling, the most taboo thing when you play Kender in the orchestra and you make mistake. And usually people in Indonesia, unless if it's school for school, playing when you play Kender, you should be somebody that's higher than the rest. You play notation and make sure you play well, because it's very important to bring the feeling of the song is from Kender, how you play, how loud, how soft. Then see, can be important, can be not important, right? Next one. And the last one, yeah, some of my parents is if you may know, is from Pak Cokro Wasito Diningrat, the one of the first gamelan teachers teaching here in the United States. I'm sure some of you also learned from him. How I met him? Why I learned from him? Well, my first year, 1986, the first year, I was teaching at San Diego State University, and then Pak Cokro is in Keller, and most of the time when we have concert, I always invite Pak Cokro to play Kender. That's my trick. The reason I invite Pak Cokro is not to, well, besides to, you know, to make our group strong, but actually secretly I would like to learn his pattern, how to play Kender. So I quote a lot of his pattern. Then now, what kind of style? Now the next one, almost we are almost done, because I have something emergency need to be deal today, so the lecture must be finished. I don't know, how long I can do. But anyway, there are two. This is this is very important to everyone who play Kender, not only in here, but also in Indonesia, in Java. Actually, what I learned that makes sense from my teacher at SMKI, the late Pak Marsono, the Kender teacher at the conservatory. He always teaching all of this theory and what makes sense to make the music or gamelan feeling, is because it also depends what kind of syncop, what kind of pattern you use. And he told the students at the time, there's two styles of playing Kender. One, it's called kembang tibo. Kembang tibo is a falling water. Yeah. So it's very simple patterns, usually for the merong, or for kosek alus, not for ciblon. Yeah, use kembang tiba. And the next one, second one is ukul pancaran. Ukul pancaran is very active, like rangkep or willet in ciblon. But even in willet, if the kendang is not using kendang ciblon, you should use the ukul kembang tiba, the slow and very moody kind of style, just to make everything calm down. No one get excited. So to keep the song, the kending, very mellow, meditative. That's two different styles. But this is nothing to do with irama actually. An example like kebar, kebar is irama tanggung, but using kendang cibar, kendang kebar, but you have to use kendang patterns called ukul pancaran. Here is the sample of those this pattern. I don't know. Okay, let me change the position first. Yeah. Okay. So this is the sample of kembang tiba patterns or style. An example of pangkur. Yeah, pangkur. The first line going to one, dua lolo, the name of the pattern. I'm going to talk about the cengkok as well. And then the second pattern is tumurun, yeah, in both style, kembang tiba and ukul pancaran. So first, kembang tiba, dua lolo, going to one, because 3, 2, 3, 1. See the last note of that measure, kotra is 1. So the kender is usually aiming to the last note of each kotra, each measure. So it's going to 1 and then going to 6, going to 6, tumurun. So here is the kembang tiba. After gong, yeah, gong. Going to 6. Very simple, mellow. I was trying to be halus, but I consider myself is not halus musician. For sure, I admit that. But if this is played by Pak Marsam, Pak Harjito, or Mas Harsono, will be very halus. But it's only sample. So that was kembang tiba. Now ukul pancaran, yeah, ukul pancaran, in the very live style, the same name, dua lolo. See how different, huge different. Now ukul kembang tiba going to 6, tumurun. Kembang tiba, simple style. Same name, different style, ukul pancaran. Yeah. Okay. Uh, that was the two different sample of style kembang tiba and ukol pancaran. I think I should stop for the talking right now and then people continue. Mas Mary, if there's any question first right now, and then I will continue talking about patterns and live performance ulur kambang by
Great.
Mbak Henny.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, put your name in the chat box here. I have a question right away. So there's two different styles that you are showing us. Would you recommend playing the more, I would guess you would say, like the faster pattern? It's almost sounding like it's twice as dense. Would you recommend that during Chiblon sections or Irama 1 sections, or when would you choose those patterns?
Yeah, I think I said that early. So the fast one, for sure, you have to do it in Chiblon when the kendang player using the Chiblon kendang. And then the slow one, you should use it like in a merong or latrang wilujeng. Any latrang that's not using kendang Chiblon, you should use called kembang tiba, you know, floating or falling water. But Mas, that's only what my teachers told me, and it is I took it. It's makes sense too, because like the merong, everything had to count down, and also the latrang when it's no kendang ciblon is especially when it's bedayan, it should be mellow, very nice. So gamelan, the way you play, you have to be parallel, you know, with others, synchronized. You know, everyone excited, you have to match them how to be excited as well. Everyone count down, yes, we all have to be count down. It's parallel. But nowadays, like in merong, like gambir sawit, an example, or ronyap, ya the kending. I hear some their player using ukul pancaran in some places, which is that I think that's it. That is fine. You know, that is fine. We are not stake in a rule that's you know very strict. I guess that's a personal choice, but yes, maybe if to be, you know, if it's like in a merong, everyone should be calm down. You should use the mellow style, not double, you know, not double densities. That's it.
Stuart, did you want to jump in with a question or comment?
Does my mic work?
Yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I know my camera's not. I was just wondering about the term dualolo. That's dualoro, right? Meaning two, and what's two about it?
Hi, Mas Stuart. Yeah, thank you very much. I admire your Kender playing anyway.
Sorry, it's not good. But...
Question about dualoro and dualolo, right?
Yeah.
I never heard in Java the name of the pattern is dualoro.
Mm-hmm.
What I heard is dualolo. That's imitating from the vocal.
Yeah.
Dua lo ing. See, that's where it's coming from. Dualolo.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Mas Stuart. That's my answer.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, welcome.
Cool. I don't see any other questions popping up right now, Patmidi.
Great. Okay, so
well, it's actually we do have one. I'm sorry, Lisa Gold has a question.
Okay.
Hi, Mas.
Hello, Mbak Lisa. It's 5 months already. We never met. It's only one block apart.
It's crazy. We'll have to figure that out.
Me too.
So I have two things. One thing is that you mentioned that studying directly from a teacher, you're not going to get the rasa. And I have to say that's not true for me, because when I study with you, I think you give a lot more than just the notes. And it makes a huge difference to me working directly with you as opposed to just picking it up from a cassette. So that's one point.
Yes. Okay.
And I
Any
also
oth-
wondered, I'm just curious to know, you were talking about Darsono's tabu hold and that it was different. Could you demonstrate the difference?
Yes, will do. Okay, so I will do that one by one. Yeah, first one. Thank you very much for your clarification. You took lots of lessons from others and from me, but I'm not trying to be myself being a cool guy. It's not. So when I'm teaching, actually, I'll do my best, not hiding my secret. So I'll teach what I have. I teach what I have, and it depends what level who's learning from me, you know. But yeah, it's a Japanese culture. When you learn something kind of knowledge, the teacher won't teach you everything what they have. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, see. And then okay, so now for the Mas Ratno's style and the plain style here is here. Okay, dua lolo. It's all dua lolo, yeah. This is common style. What Mas Darsono want me to do, dua lolo. Sorry. Yeah, very familiar, right? One more. Yeah, and this is for common. This is what Mas Darsono want me to do. Darsono Itan, not Mas Darsono Kecil. Mas Darsono Kecil is haluser, very halus. He is very halus. So I do this. This is my guitar player playing until now, and I imitated it to Mas Ratno. Okay. So the power you hitting your melody is using this. I think Pulisa, you are using this, using mine most of the time. So the attack is from your finger here, and then instead the Mas Darsono doesn't like me to do this. The samparan, tera. He doesn't like that. It should be tera, instead tera, instead that. That's for Pulisa's.
Thank you. Now I see what you mean.
Yeah. Any question?
Is there a different way you can show us how different players might hold the grip?
Okay, so yes. Left hand, most people are doing the same thing in the left hand. See, look at this, left hand, the finger, yeah, there, like that, yeah. Most people doing the same thing. But right hands, I saw different people playing differently, and I can tell you my experience by using different technique. Some of them just straight down your finger here. That's more precise when you hit, when you hit the bar. See? Yeah. Yeah. This one or this. Finger slightly going to the other side. Almost the left hand, but it's not. It's like this. This one almost the same, but you can, when you fast, you can handle it. But this, the first one, the first style that I showed to you, if it is fast or rangkap or even willet, it's hard to make precise strike. But in the wayang, that for sure, if you do it like this, see this, different, right? This, your hand will be stay up all night. Don't feel tired. If you do this or the other, first one and the second one, it get tired pretty easy. This one, the power of your striking is from your right here, yeah, from your wrist also. See. Okay. You don't feel tired when you hold it like this. This is for the wayang ways to play, because when you play wayang, the player never stop. It's continuous. That is to answer your question, Mas Matt. Any others?
I have a comment.
Pak Marsam, you monggo Pak Ji.
Yeah, Mas Midiyanto, sorry, I don't wear my suit because it's hot here in Connecticut.
Oh, monggo Pak. Wah, niki mergane kula nggih enten kaose sing mriki bolong. Ji,
I want to follow up Mas Stewart's questions about dua lolo. Lolo, I think it was because of it's the same as loro. Dua mean two in Indonesian, and lolo is loro because the person who cannot row, they are. So that's one thing. Another thing is this is very important to know about the name of the Kender patterns. It's without knowing it, it's sort of nonsense, like Ayu Kuning, Jarit Kawung, Kacarian. That's really need to be explained. Actually, what's the connection between that names with the piece or the patterns? Many years ago, I wrote a draft. I would like very much to publish it about learning Kender, but I don't have time to either put it aside because of other things. So actually, there's even how many of them? I just looking at my draft here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different kind of patterns. Each has its own name. The first one is Ayu Kuning, Kacarian, Dua Lolo. That's all is based on vocal part of the patterns. And then pattern with names based on vocal part of a particular repertoire, like Tumurune, Kemul Adem. Some of this name is very funny because it's coming from the children's song. Kemul Adem is Jalo Kemul Adem. That's and then you have to think on that, how that's connect with the
pattern,
melody of the patterns. And Tumurun was it Kacarian, because that's coming from a piece Puspawarno. Then what else? There's a pattern with names derived directly from the Kender technique. It's a Putot is one of them, where when your hand is kind of closing each other, there's a kind of the disciples fighting to each other. So there's it's not that many, but still there's a lot of them. of the names that actually is not, it's meaning something, has a meaning to it in terms of its connection with the melody, with the technique. And what is really interesting, I found out that Pak Manggung Warso Diningrat, in his early publication manuscript, he lists something like 40 different kind of Kender pattern which has different kind of names. This is a mind-boggling to me because I cannot really find out the code of this name. What as well, some of them I know, but many of them it's not really it's not familiar at all. Let me see if I can see here. Petro Gandul, Pudak Mekar, Nyodet, Ganggeng Kanyut. This is very interesting, and it's something that we just cannot find because he did not, Pak Warso Diningrat did not explain. Just my addition to what you have said so far, that the names has its meaning either connected to the melody of the piece or the technique of the Kender itself. Thanks. Thank you. Terima kasih, Mas.
Thank you, Pak Marsam. See, always, whenever, wherever you deliver 2 to 4 or sentence words, I always learn from you. Just to clarify, dualolo, same as dualoro. I think that is not very important to discuss. It can be, it's okay, you know. But I never heard about it. And then also now the basic pattern what I learned from conservatory. I don't know those all of the patterns that Pak Sumarsam added. This is the basic one. I'm sure you can their player you will know this. So this is the basic one, yeah. Utok Kempyong. That's the pattern. Kempyong means ending on the fifth. If the pattern is ending Kempyong, you know, there are 2 bars in between. That's a Kempyong. And then Kembyang is the other way. Utok Kembyang. That means you ending Kembyang is octave. That's just the common names of the pattern. And then Ayu Kuning, Dualolo, Elaelo, or Dualolo Kecil, Kacarian, Duduk, Gantung, Tarik Kawung, Putut Gelut, Mati, Cengkok Mati, or Special, Special Cengkok, something that is not regular Cengkok or pattern being used in the song. I just call it special. But to echoing Bapak Sumarsam about the name of the Cengkok being documented, the name, and without any relationship or explanation what is the meaning. Actually, 5 years ago, Mas Joko Purwanto and the crew, they putting together to search all of those names and what is the relationship and the meaning and what it sound like, because we don't hear those patterns. What we mostly hear is that what I said, yeah, Utok Kuning Kempyong, Utok Kuning Kembyang, Duduk, Dualolo or besar, or Dualolo kecil, or Elaelo, Gantung, Kacarian, Cengkok Mati, and so on. So, and special, you know, so like the end of Gong Limo, an example. So sorry if you not connect what I'm talking about, but I'm so glad most of you are here now. Even it's only few people. Most of you are expert in Kender, so you know what I'm going to talk about. An example like going Gong in Kabor. Yeah, going to Gong to one, I don't know what is the name. Maybe Pak Harjito, Pak Marsam, Pak Ben, or others, Mas Phil, Richard Walls. If you want to add the name, you're welcome. I will learn. But it sounds like this. I don't know the name of that. I just know it's actually special gong to kapor. Also, gong bundet. Gong. And also the other one, I don't have the name. Indirotomoto 6362. I don't have this the name, but if Pak Masam, Pak Rogo, whoever, Pak Arjito, if you like to give the name of this, what I just played.
That's a very important your example. You give an example. I think that from my perspective, the names of Kendare pattern is not necessarily the only things that you rely upon. They are a piece required to make a bridge between one standard pattern to another in such way that there is no name for it. See, like what you just, the example that you just gave. So even the name itself, even if you know that dualolo is this particular pattern, but actually the melody of that dualolo is only applied to a piece when it is being played in a particular irama. So there's some weaknesses about the naming and how it application to it. It's better to learn the Kendare from your teacher. And maybe your teacher will give you a little bit of a hint that this is the name, and then the next one has no name because of it, and so on and so forth. Thanks.
Thank you, Pak Marsam. That's clearly, that's why I don't know all of those names. It's because I don't learn from the teacher. I learn from Pak Kaset. And the cassette is not explaining to me, but I know what the treatment is had to be there. And an example of that tirotometer 6365 6362. You can use a regular pattern. Kutuk kuning gembyang mo going to 5 and tumurun 2. Yeah, and also I learned here sometime learned a lot of a few cengkok that's from Mbak Lisa and Mas Ben Brenner. I never heard the name of Jawoto. I've never had that. I never had, but I never hear that. But oh, is that called Jawoto? It's the same as this. So it's just the name is different. So like Pak Marsam said, one name, one cengkok can be different names. So hopefully our friends at EC going to be successfully to document it, all of the names and the meaning and what it sound like, because they lost it. They got the name only, but which one they still struggle to put it together right now. I think if I'm not mistaken, is Pak Kamso and Pak Joko Purwanto is working on it. Thank you very much, Pak Marsam. Mas Mehdi, anything else? Any question? Anything or comment?
Yeah, we have a bunch of comments here.
Wow.
In the in the chat box here. So Lisa, I don't know if you want to jump in with any of your comments. We have a couple comments from Ben as well.
Good.
I'm happy to jump in and just briefly say, well, thank you, Mas, for this really great talk.
Hi, Mas Ben.
Basically what I was saying is that the last thing I was saying is just adding to what Lisa had said, that having the Chenkok names really helped me. And so Pak Harjito, thank you again for all your teaching. And one of the things that was just a huge difference for me when I started studying Gender with Pak Harjito after learning from Pak Chokro played Gender beautifully, but I wasn't experienced enough to make full sense of what he was doing. And he hardly used Chenkok names. He would say Putuk Gulut and maybe one or two other names. Whereas with Parjito giving me systematically, and this is this Chenkok and this is this one, it just helped me, what we call in cognition, chunk, group together all these little pieces of information in bundles that I could access much more readily. And so after that, when I listened to Parjito in our lessons, I would immediately be able to identify, oh, that's this, that's the, you know. So that was the good thing. And then I wrote something else in the chat that when I was I went to Pat Joko Waluyo's house a year or two ago, and he was showing me all the names of Chenkok that he had, I think, from his uncle. And Pat Marsam, several of the names you mentioned were on that list. And I just hope that someday he publishes or lets somebody publish that list, because it's really interesting. Thank you.
That's good. Yeah. See, names there and the sound is not there. I'm still a learner, as all of us, desperately to learn all of those name and what the sound, and it's a great if it is why, the connection between the melody and the name, that will be great. Thank you, Pak Ben.
Laura Brion has a question.
Hi there.
Hello.
So this is a very basic question, so it's a little embarrassing to ask in this room, but I know I'll get a quick answer. So I am not an advanced gamelan player, but I'm very interested in it. And so I play the sarans and bonang, but I don't really understand Gender. And my question is, when you are playing Gender, are you always playing a pattern? Like, do you build up what you play on the Gender by learning patterns that always go towards the end of each gotro, and then link those together in the way that you're taught is appropriate for the piece or the style? Or are there other things that Gender also does?
Well, I'm going to answer that, and anyone feel free to jump into it. Yes, you have to play the correct patterns. It's a pattern going to match to the end of a gotro measure, or sometimes if irama 2, you can divide it. Every second note and the fourth note. But you should not make it up. But there's a method to learn. There's a method to learn. Start from scratch. So. If you want an example, the end of the gotro is 2, right? You can make it up if you don't have teacher with you right now. You can make it up every time you go to 2, sound like this. Your left. Yeah. Yeah. 2, 3. Make it up in before that for now, or going over like this. Yeah, to N. See, that's to make it up first. Everything when you learn, you have to scratch. You have to start from the scratch. But yes, the correct way that you have to learn the pattern, unless you don't have teacher want to fool around, go for it. This is the experience. Your beginning gamelan is like when my experience learning the English. So first I learn how to say the name of the fruits. Like an example, there's a picture of apple, and there's spelling down this apple. And then the next one is this is apple, right? So when I learned 101 English, this is apple on the picture. But then when you see apple on the table, when I see on the table right now, I don't need to say it, I don't need to spell it, I grab it and I eat it. In that simple, you know, same when you learn there, when you're in advance, you no longer should I do kutok kuning kempiong, should I do this, do that? Or you know the pattern to work on that gotro, on that measure, on that song. So don't be afraid. Even you never learn kender, go for it. Grab the mallet and play whatever, pull around like what I did first time. Pull around. The best pattern for practice for the beginning. This is for everyone. I mean for the learners. Try the pattern we call kacarian. Kacarian 5 is the easiest because it's all octave. It's all like this. See, it's octave. After that, second half. Very easy, and do that again and again until your damping is good and until your hand is familiar with keys. Holding, that's the last one. That's technique. Technique is not it's important, but it's not really crucial. Everyone have their own technique. Okay, thank you. That's it. Next one, Mas.
Next one, Jody. If you want to jump in with your question, feel free. If not, it's okay.
Am I there? There I am. No, my question was just a technique question. You kind of covered it, and that it was about using the thumb on these fingers on the right hand as part of damping.
All right.
I mean, sometimes if you just go up one note, you don't need your thumb. But if you go up 2 notes, how do you know when it's okay to stick your thumb out and use it?
Well, going up, I always use the thumb. Not always. It's not always. It depend how fast, you know. Like if it's a rank up, if you don't use the thumb, there is no time to bring your right hand back to the left. So it's flexible. And if you don't use the thumb and you're capable of muting the keys, there's no problem. This is just this technique of skill you need to use, you know, and you don't have to use it. To kill somebody, you don't need to shoot with a pistol. There's many ways, as long that person is killed. Oh, sorry to take this sample. Yeah.
All right, Irene Ritchie has a question.
Yeah, sorry I came in very late today, but I'll look forward to seeing the rest of the talk on YouTube. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear Irene. Where are you from now?
Australia.
Australia. Where is in Australia?
Melbourne. And
Melbourne.
Pudiono has been
All right, Pak Pudiono, we are from the same village.
I know, Wannagiri, that's right.
Yes,
fantastic.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was just interested in the idea of the patterns. I play Gender and I've been learning with Keys to Kisno in Yogyakarta. And when I go to solo, I learn with Pak Ael. Just pieces like Grimmingan, Odo Odo, Patatan, Slendon, Clodron. Would you call those patterns in the same way?
Let me see. Actually, I missed that. I put in my I put in my notes here that I should talk about it. Okay, so that's the function. You know, the function of the instrument. Besides to make a song beautiful, to achieve the feeling of the kending, kender also have a role doing gramjangan.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tintingan,
mm-hmm.
and grimmingan. There are 3 different of grimmingan. Grimmingan alus, grimmingan kasar or greget or emotional, and Grimingan relaxation. Yeah, that's the under categories of the function of the kender. So Grambiangan is like what is Grambiangan? Grambiangan is like if the like the function as a rebab. When rebab do sengrengan, kender do Grambiangan, especially before any jineman or bowo. Oh no, jineman for sure. Ya Grambiangan. It's for sure. And then secondly, tintingan. Tintingan for sure to use before the bowo. Yeah, the vocal start the buka, replace the buka by instrument. That's bivocal. So the kender should keep tintingan first page. Make sure the singer singing in that page. So we were just talking about the perfect pitch and things. So if it's not perfect pitch without tintingan, you might start the wrong page. So that's just the tintingan. Then the Grimingan that's only occurred in the wayang. So when the scene is is about the sad situation, yes, your Grimingan should be very sad. Or when the scene is very exciting, you have to do Grimingan like odo in a different ways of playing it. And also you can play Grimingan again. Also you can play patterns of kening in a different ways of playing it. When the puppet's talking about anything, something relax or calm down and so far, then you use that Grimingan. So an example, yeah. I'll give you an example, Irene. Yeah. So this is the Grimingan Grambiangan. Yeah. This is Grambiangan Selendro Songo. An example.
Fantastic.
Yeah. If the kender is doing something like this and the singer is going to sing something, the singer should open the pit in the section of under Selendro Songo. That's pretty, the simple ways. Don't mess up. So you have to be in the section or chapter of Selendro Songo. That's an example of Grambiangan. Yeah. And then tintingan, like an example, bowo gambir sawit, roro bentrok. See, before the singing start, the vocal Kangka taman. But lots of singers don't have perfect pitch to start, have to be 5. So the kender player should do tintingan. And then Grambiangan, I'm not going to give example. Grimingan, I'm not going to example here. Just play either patetan, oto, or cengkok in different ways, depending what the situation on the screen of the wayang. Thank you, Mbak Irene. Say hi to Pak Budiono.
Ya, terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Mbak. Any?
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like, let's see here. Lisa just wanted to say thanks to Parjito for teaching her gamelan. And now she had to go, so sorry. And then we have a question from Jody about creating new chenka.
Hello. So
Yeah, I was just, there's all these chenkok that you have to learn. How many do you have to know before you can create a new one? When do you make chenkok or make your own variations on the ones that exist? I would think you'd have to know a lot of ways to get from one point to another, many, many, many ways, until you could understand the language of what a chenkok is. But then can you make one up that won't be wrong?
So far, I never make a new chenkok. even all of the cengkoks that already exist, I still play roughly. So I still work on it. But this is what I did. An example, going to gong to Kabur, example, going to Kabur. I think this is only me, and don't imitate this. It is only my own my own little. How about if I do this or like this? So this I add this. Yeah. So, see. I put this. As people say, will be that's crazy, Midiyanto. Yeah, well, I admitted myself in the beginning. I'm rap in gamelan. I never joined a professional group in Indonesia because I never belonged to any group when I was in Indonesia, and I already went abroad. Not like Mas Darsono, Pak Masam, Pak Sito is already in the group that established. I never be in the group in Indonesia, so I never be a kendar player or punang player or kendang player, but suling, that's my expertise is on suling. I play suling in the conservatory for 4 years. From the first year until the 4th year, when there's a recital, I always the suling players for each student, and then there are about 1 year about 15 students. So I play 1 year 15 songs suling by myself time 4. So there might be like for what 66, yeah, isn't it? So, yeah, 60 kendings in 4 years. All of the suling in the documentary and the library, it's all by me. Because in that time, no suling players but me in that time. Until I went to EC, and then Pak AL, lots of Pak AL students play suling already. So I no longer play suling when it's in EC and ASCII. But when it's at SMKI, yes, that is my instrument is suling. Even though that's not very good. I was imitating from Pak Keset, which is Pak Tarno Pedet. So my suling is from Pak Tarno Pedet. I never met him. I know who he is, but I never talked to him. Thing like that. Is that I use his pattern a lot. Thank you, Pak Jody. So yes, in the bottom lines, I never make it up cengkok that people never heard. So when I add this going to Kong, is only that 4-note thing. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
All right. I just want to make a comment. Actually, sorry, my screen's really orange. But I'm actually pretty much a beginner Gendar player. I'm learning how to play Irama 3 now for Asmaradono, so that's new for me right now. But I've learned some patterns from Mas Darsono, from Mas Alex, and also from Mas Phil. And it's so interesting how everybody has a little bit of a different way to play all these different songs. Like I've learned Suba Costolo 3 different ways currently with almost completely different patterns. And it's fun to learn from different teachers in one respect, because you get a really big picture of like what's potentially available to you on the instrument. And there's such a wide variety, even, with different interpretations. But at the same time, it's difficult because then you always want to learn for me at least, I'm trying to learn the same pieces over and over again with different patterns that are similar patterns, but different enough to have to almost relearn technique on occasion. So that's my experience currently as a beginner Gendar player.
That's great to hear, and it is the best way to learn gamelan if you have more than one teacher, because then the fun thing to play gamelan, when you play pangkor yesterday should be different when you play pangkor tomorrow. Thank you, Mas. And same as Gendar. So if you play Subokastro yesterday, yes, use Mas Darsono pattern, and tomorrow maybe Mas Phil's parents. Next month will be Mas Alex parents, and so on. That's the fun thing about gamelan. Is no such of you have to use this pattern and sound have to be like this. I never had that. I never heard that statement. So feel free and in Javanese gamelan is only halus and kasar, smooth and rough, and correct and ngawur. So it's wrong. Sometimes it's wrong or just oh, that's good. That's but I will say mostly people don't say it's wrong. Oh, that's okay. Even it's wrong or not pleasurable. No, you're okay. You're doing good job. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak.
So how's our time? How many more questions before I do the ular kambang?
I think I have one more question here.
Okay.
From Dion.
Hello. Yes.
Halo Pak Midi, salam kenal. Saya mau, saya tanya bahasa Inggris aja ya, biar.
Nggih. Mas Dian dari mana?
Saya dari Jogja, tapi sekarang lagi studi di Wellington.
Wellington, New Zealand.
Wellington College, Vermont di.
Oh iya. Dekat Kanada itu ya?
Nggih Pak.
Oh iya. Ada gamelan Mas. Itu di situ ada gamelan Mas. Bagus Mas.
Nggih Pak. Nggih.
Slendro.
Nggih. Kalau belajar gamelan dengan Nick Brook.
Oh iya. Silakan monggo apa pertanyaannya?
So I'm very much still a beginner at Gender, and I'm interested in learning more. And one question, and I came late, so you might already talk about this, but I'm curious about the role of improvisation in Gender, like how much of Gender playing is improvised, and is improvisation like a central concept in Gender at all? Yeah. One.
Yes, I mean. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, I already. It's only. I mean, it was in my notes there. When I was start. Gender can be important or can be not important at all. Can be crucial or can be nothing. It depends where you are and what is your goal. So yes, but improvisation, if we're talking about seriously playing gending, no, you should not do. There's no room for improvisation. But if you just want to have a fun, that this gamelan is derived from want to have fun, to pacify your own mind. Gamelan is a place to learn about it, and being politeness is gamelan. So the most important is gamelan is a place for the community to know each other, help each other, and be tolerant. That is in gamelan. It's referred to each instrument is like the context of Japanese culture. But how important? Very important, because this is gending, even called gending gender. So then gender have a role that's bringing everything to the highest achievement. Yeah. So gender can be very, very important. But if you play gender in the beginning group and you make mistakes, that's not going to bother to the Bunang player or to Temung or to anything. It's keep going. They won't, if you make mistakes in Charlie song, they won't bother by you. But if you play in Java in the groups and you ngawur or even doing more improvisation, Japanese will call you as Gender players orawaras. He's crazy. Apunten guys. So that's the role of the Gender. It's very important as in Gender. Improvise is fine. Yes, Pak Masam.
Yeah, can I chime in here? I know the word improvisation is such loaded word, but I think the way I put the how to improvise, not how to improvise, I think it's more of embellishment rather than improvisation. So each of the patterns you can embellish depending on the piece itself or depending on your preference of how to embellish particular patterns. I would like to follow up about Jodi's questions, because that's a question is pedagogical. See, the naming of Kender Cengkok happened in I will say 1960s, late 60s, when Pak Marto started to teach gamelan at ASCII. Before that, the figure who teach gamelan, his name is Pak Panji. And Pak Panji used what is called rumus, like algebra. That's sort of give you an idea that each pattern, he gave a name depending on the end of the note of that pattern. If it's the end of the pattern is 2, they put it L, mean loro. And then you have the different kind of L number 1 and L number 2, and so on. And if the patterns end on limo, you will have a M or something like that. And then when you play Supukastovo, you learn from looking at the sequence of that letters, L1 plus T3, and so on and so forth. It was quite interesting. Then when Pak Marto started teaching gamelan, because when Pak Marto at Kokar in the beginning, he doesn't teach. He didn't teach. He was a member of the staff. When he started to teach, then he came up with this idea of naming Ayu Kuning, Kutu Kunung, and so on and so on. And I don't boast in myself, but actually I was his assistant. So we sort of worked together. I worked together with Pak Marto to figure out the names. In fact, I wrote a book, very small book, on different names that Pak Marto gave it to me. And then later on, actually, Pak Marto wrote a book with very, very intensive use of that naming. So the pedagogical, because we were doing it at the school in the Western mode of education, that came up with that way. But from that perspective, I always think that the naming the patterns is not the only way to learn the kender or any other instrument on that matter. It's always a combination of listening and also learning from your teacher with some kind of guidance of what pattern to be played, and so on and so forth. Thanks.
Yes, thank you, Pak Marsam. That's correct about Pak Panji Sutopinile, isn't it, Pak? Yes. Yes. So that's my sister playing. I learned at his house. He's teaching sister classes to ECO, to public, but mostly he's going there from ECO SMK students in that time, late 70s. His house is in Batran, so I goes there once a week. I was the very young one. The rest of my classmates was Pak Prasadyanto, Pak Joko Porwanto, Sigit Astono, who was one of the great Celempung Slater players there, and Pak Supardi and Pak Rusdiantoro. That's classmates. Yes. And the scary thing, every Friday night we play Gambir Sawit with all the lights dark, very dark, and it was scary. That house is kind of spooky house in that time. I don't know what he's doing, but that's the story about Pak Panji Sutompinile. Thank you very much, Pak Sumarsam, who brought his name back here. It's my memory is still attached there. Thank you very much. And yes, the pattern is using like a method of mathematic thing. It's nothing to do with the name. It's just it's a rumus, correct? Sumarsam's rumus. Thank you. Masmet, any other question or comments?
I think Jody had maybe one more comment, and then I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. And then I will play Lord Kambang with Mbak Henny.
I know that you're trying to finish, so I don't want to keep you, but this word improvisation is very problematic and it comes up all the time. So you want to say there's fixed parts and flexible parts, and the players create their part every time they're playing, and someone will say, oh, you mean they're improvising? And it's like, no, no, no. So I like the word, and tell me what you think of this. I like to say that they're realizing the parts. The way you realize a figured bass, you're given like certain notes and you have to use those notes, but it's not completely determined how you use them. Because I think the word improvisation it's misunderstood if it's applied to
Correct.
gamelan.
Yes.
So you think about saying the parts are realized. I mean, they're created by the player, but within a very clear structure. So I'm always trying to find a way to explain that.
You want me to add this this is your opinion?
No, I'm asking you what you.
Okay.
I've been trying that word, and I'm asking you if you think that works.
Okay. So yes, actually, it's very strong words, as Pak Sumarsam said, that improvise is very strong words, can be misinterpreted, because improvise is as your own idea to produce something new by you improvising. But improvising here in the gamelan, as Pak Marsam said, is embellishing. So base something that exists and recognized by the community of gamelan, and then you just make embellishment here, there, but it's still based like okay. So like an yeah, it's just embellishment, like cooking, you know, like cooking. Nasi goreng is like that. You don't put any stuff that is from pizza. So people make sure still recognize that this nice nasi goreng, fried rice, but oh, that person, his fried rice is too spicy. Oh, that person is too mellow because it's not enough this or not this. But it's still called nasi goreng.
Right.
Nasi goreng. That's
so if someone says, what is the Gender player embellishing? What's the answer to that question?
Embellishing? Oh, that's maybe
the bulungan or the kalimat lagu or the inner melody. I mean,
okay, so
what is the player
example
referring to when you're playing?
So this is like an example, the end of the pattern, right? So most common, there's like, right?
Okay.
That's common, everybody recognize. And then if somebody to embellish this, become like, but it's still based on this. And then also the feeling how to put down the melody. An example, and then some people, because it's so familiar with the song and everything, so let's make embellishment. It's used too square. you're dropping melodies too soon. Embellish it, you know, make kind of, but it's not improvisation. So you see what I mean? It's still the same thing. No, you're not putting anything. Or there are so many different kind of, an example, ayu kuning. If you have your own ayu kuning, you don't make it up completely the pattern that you invented. So make sure that ayu kuning recognized by public. It still have to be recognized by public. I know, like playing bonang, it's pretty easy for bonang players to make it up sekaran, but make sure your sekaran is it's acceptable. So you can say this, that oh, he's improvising of the sekaran. As long as it's acceptable, why not? I think it's okay. But if it's not acceptable, that's the improvisation is not good.
Right. I mean, it's like there's an underlying essential chenkok that nobody would actually play, but you know inside what it is, and then you create an embellishment in relationship to that when you're playing.
Yeah, well, okay.
But nobody plays bonang by going da 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 da, but you have to know that that's the rule underneath what it is you end up doing. So is it kind of like that?
Yes, but this again, this the controversial of improvisation. But in Java, it's called embellishing. You know, you play somebody's improvisation. You're not allowed to do your own. I mean, you play pattern that's recognized, that's already exist by Empu or by Master Gamelan. Then you know, that is great. So an example, how many kendang player improvise the pattern like the late of Pak Pujiono? Yes, you know Pak Pujiono, yeah, the kendang players from Sirodari. His unique pattern is very unique. Not so many people using it because it's the born of Pujongo Laras, and he play kendang a lot. Now youngsters adopted his patterns, his improvisation, but he is the master of a gamelan player. He's the master of kendang. So it's worth it to imitate it, what his improvisation is. So you have to be recognized who you are first before you make your own. The bottom line. Thank you, Mbak.
Okay, Midiyanto, I think that's it for comments, questions, everything.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mas. My apology to Pak Harsito, Pak Sumarsam, Pak Ben, Pak Richard Wallace, Mas Phil, Mas Alex, and others who's knowledgeable about the Gender. Whatever I present right now, just that's what I do know. And of course, I'm still learning, and will be happy to learn from you. Now I'm going to do ular kambang with Mbak Henny, and to send you have a great night and be well and stay safe for everyone. Hope this kind of situation won't be last forever. And I ask all of your prayers, because I said that tonight's lecture is going to be not too long. I think it's about time, because my brothers who graduated from EC a long time ago, I think with the classmates of Rainer from German, this is his classmate. He got a blood clot in his brain right now. Hopefully, it's in the hospital in Jakarta now, and in intensive care right now. It's my brother Himawan, who's now becoming pengendang campur sari in Jakarta. Sorry to him, but yes, I ask your prayer and bless him in the good hand of God. Here is ular kambang with Mbak Henny. Some of you might know us. Ular kambang in Selendro Songo, and Mbak Irene. Before is ular kambang, yes, I'll do Gerambyangan Selendro Songo. That's it. Thank you very much, everyone. It's nice to see you, and hopefully to see you again not so too long. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pak Midiyanto. That was a great lecture. We'll have this back. We'll have this up on the web in a couple days. And next, and really, all my best wishes to your brother and his health issues. So
Thank you
sorry
very
to hear
much.
about that. Next week, we will have Ed Luna, who's going to be speaking about linguistics. He's going to be talking about Old Javanese and Balinese and how it relates to Karawitan. And it should be a very interesting lecture. If you've been to these lectures, Ed is always coming in with really interesting comments. So it should be a very fun and informative lecture. And make sure to check out the compositions of I Am Harjito, who will be, which will be on our YouTube and on our website starting tomorrow morning. Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful evening.